The party was in the Intuit Dome, and unfortunately, the Suns were not having it. They went ahead and beat the Clippers last night. Durant had 25 and 7. It wasn't overtime, if that makes anybody feel better. Bradley Beal with 24. James Harden, 29 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. He did miss the game-tying free throw, though, in overtime, which is a bit of a bummer. I want to talk about the GM survey that they get before the season, because KD on that was second only to Steph as far as who you want taking the shot with the game on the line. I guess we can argue whether or not should he be 2? Should he be 1? Where do you guys have him? Chandler.
I mean, I think it's what you need. If I need a three-pointer, I'm going Steph Curry for sure. If I need an off-the-block post-up to kind of create your own shot, you can argue that it can be Kevin Durant with his size, with his versatility, with his ability to score the basketball. It's hard to go. It's hard to go another way, but obviously, it's also hard to go against the greatest shooter of all time, too. So I think it matters time. I think it matters possession. I think, do you need a 3? Do you need a 2? Do you need to get to a free throw line? But you can't go wrong with either of these guys. You can see him here. Just no matter what you do, if you crowd him, he's too quick. He's too slippery to go by you. Then he's too tall. If he backs you down, can shoot it over your head. Like, that is a low percent shot for most people in the NBA. And not for Kevin Durant. It's great defense. Amir Coffey cuts him off, makes him spin. James Harden even comes over here and they both contest. And it's just, he's just in the gym shooting by himself. So Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, I mean, you can't go wrong either way. But man, KD is insane.
Lou, I want to ask you about Bradley Beal. He had 24 points. I think I got that one wrong. But he said he also lost 20 pounds in the offseason because he wanted to be a bit more explosive. I don't know where he found the 20 pounds, but he lost them. Do you think, or how much better do you think this Phoenix Suns team will be with a fully healthy, explosive Beal?
Look, it makes him a completely different team. You know, you watched him last year when he missed majority of that season dealing with injuries. They weren't as explosive. You know, teams were able to load up on Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, and it put them in a position to, you know, play basketball that they weren't used to. You know, not Bradley Beal. Devin Booker had to play some point guard, and that wasn't where he's naturally at, and it just puts him in a different position. Now with him back in rotation, that puts everybody back in their regular positions, and that puts Tyus Jones at the point guard position. But a healthy, in-shape Bradley Beal, you know, watching last night, he was scoring by being available on kickouts and being in attack mode. You know, for him to be the guy you can give the ball to in tough, low-clock situations, that's dangerous for the rest of the Western Conference if he can stay healthy. Now, that's a big if with everything that he's been dealing with the last few years, but just watching him last night, catching the ball in attack mode at all times because he knows teams can't load up and can't help off of him or off of the other guys. He used it to his advantage. It's going to give this Phoenix Suns team a completely different look.
That plus 800, Chandler, I think it might be worth putting a couple dollars on that.
And listen, they weren't perfect last night by any means. Devin Booker took 9 shots and you can still win a game. Kevin Durant had 0 assists with 7 turnovers. So there was some sloppy basketball there. But the key I noticed, again, it was Tyus Jones. He had 0 assists or 8 assists, 0 turnovers. They actually now have a real true point guard that can set these guys up. You can tell the way they play, it's going to be a different guy every single night. And Devin Booker, if he didn't show us enough, you know, being a role player with Team USA this summer and how he can fit in and play every role, he did the same thing last night. He wasn't a pig offensively. He moved the ball. He didn't take any bad shots. So you could tell Devin Booker has taken that maturity step where he can play second fiddle, third fiddle on any given night. If guys have it going, it is going to be their night. If Grayson Allen has it going, Devin Booker's going to get open a good shot, give up a good shot for him to take a great shot. So it's great to see that growth just maturity wise of Devin Booker, because a lot of times that is a huge factor when you have so much talent of ego and who wants the points, who wants the all-stars, who wants all that. And it's early in one game last night, but it doesn't seem like Devin Booker cares about any of that stuff and just wants to win. So this team is dangerous. This team, they have size, they can defend, they're deep, and they have so much talent in that big three where they're going to outscore you a lot of nights, even when they turn the ball over and don't play great.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lou.
No, I was just gonna piggyback off what Chandler said and think about it. It's gonna be an 82 game season. There's gonna be about 40 of these nights where Devin Booker is gonna be the best player on the floor. So if the night isn't his night, he's smart enough to know that. Listen, I got Kevin Durant to my right, I got Bradley Beal to my left. TYUS is running the show. I got Nurkic in the lane. I'm gonna have plenty of nights where I'm gonna be Devin Booker, where I'm gonna stand out. So, like you mentioned, for him not to chase shots and chase having an opportunity to score the basketball a bunch of times and just doing what's needed to win basketball games, that's going to give this Phoenix Suns team a different look. I thought last year that was somewhat of their adjustment period. You know, they didn't know who was going to get the ball in what positions and at what times of the game. Now I think they have that understood. I think they have their clear closer. I think they have a guy that can play in the gaps. And also you got a guy in Devin Booker. Anytime you need him to, he can go off for 30 to 40 points in a row if that's what's needed. Other than that, he knows how to be a role player and knows how to fit in and impact winning.
So we know, look, nobody's going to be perfect. And Chandler, you brought up the turnovers. They had 22 turnovers last night, and none of them were made by a point guard. They were also outscored by 20 in the paint. So size-wise, what else can they do there? What are they missing, Lou?
Size-wise, they probably can get another backup for Nurkic. You know, that's going to be it. Other than that, I think they're in a great position. Look, you got Kevin Durant playing your 4 right now, and he's a 7-footer. Obviously, he's not going to get in there and bang with the other guys, and he's not going to be physical. That's not going to be his matchup. But in this new game of today's NBA, where so many teams are playing small ball, that makes them one of the best small ball teams if you have Kevin Durant playing the 4. But moving on through that season, if you're going to run into some physicality, you're going to run to some of these teams who have dominant 4s and 5s who man the paint, who's going to be physical in the paint as well. You're going to need to address that at some point. So if you can go out in the field and free agency, well, not free agency, during a break or before All-Star and go get you a 4, go get you a 5, get somebody that's going to be physical in there with Nurkic, I think that helps this team tremendously.
Yeah, and Nurkic's got to stay healthy because he's obviously their main guy. They do have Mason Plumlee, who played solid last night in spot minutes, and they have guys like Royce O'Neal who are so versatile they can plug in. Josh Okogie, he's hurt, he didn't play last night. He's one of those guys that I've seen him guard 4s and 5s last year. Bull didn't get an opportunity last night, so they do have a lot more depth than they showed last night. But I think their weakness is definitely going to be they're a little thin. They're going to get punked certain nights at against bigger, more physical teams, but the NBA has changed so much where it is offensive minded, it is 3-point driven. So there are going to be multiple lineups on the floor with this Phoenix Suns team where Kevin Durant is the center and Royce O'Neal is your power forward. And as hard as it is going to be for them to guard other teams, it's going to be impossible for the opposing team to guard them as well. So I think they could add a little more beef down there, but man, they're really, really good. They're going to win a lot of games.